Fantastic Four First Steps was a movie I kind of have mixed feelings about, but there's a lot I did enjoy about it. But I'm still Superman brained, I'm not gonna lie. This movie been on my mind since I left that theater, and a large reason for that is of course Mr. Terrific, the guy. This is literally the Hobie effect all over again, and you love to see it. I don't know how or why it took me so long to realize, but this T-faced man of science really ain't so far off from Marvel's gum big-brained hero of the Fantastic Four. One is fantastic, the other is terrific. One leads a group of the Fantastic Four, and the other leads a group of four called the Terrifics. This a little pattern I'm noticing, but Mr. Terrific is simply a GOAT. First and foremost, Eddie Gategi's superhero movie redemption. You love to see it. This movie is genuinely the coolest I've seen Mr. Terrific ever be. I remember my first exposure to the character being from Justice League Unlimited, and he was just kind of the Watchtower guy in my brain. The red eyes were cool though, but in this movie, he had personality for real. Really smart characters in fiction tend to be a little one note sometimes, but Mr. Terrific was a smart character who don't let that be his whole personality. But his infinity IQ brain still finds a way to show itself in more fun ways. Like when Lois is venting to him about how she feels about her situationship with Clark, this is not trying to hear it at all. All this man sees is logic and numbers, so he don't know what the f to do in a situation that requires more emotional and feelings-based problem solving. At least that's what's conveyed in the movie, from the young neck's perspective. But the way he explains his big-brained, high IQ plans and inventions is so indicative of his actual intelligence, because we, the audience, and everybody else around him actually understands what he's talking about. He makes the crazy smart talk digestible for everybody to be able to understand, and that feels like a much better signifier of real intelligence versus the classic trope of a smart motherfucker speaking in words and phrases that just don't make sense to everybody else. I love you, Donatello, but you be doing this too much. Please, just explain it normally. Mr. Terrific is also like one of, if not the smartest character in the DC universe, and you can tell he knows this to be a cold hard fact just based on how he was moving in this movie. This need no help from a Luthor Corp employee. You looking at Mr. Terrific, the guy. This truly is terrific. He palmed that whole face and threw him to the side with no regard for human life. I really like his relationship with Kal-El in this movie too. Out of the whole Justice Gang, Superman seems closest to him versus the other two, and that shows in so many little ways throughout the movie. Mr. Terrific is the first one to try to help him out when he's imprisoned by Planet Watch, and he genuinely believed Clark was still a good guy when the Kryptonian message was fully exposed. He literally looked Kal-El in his eyes and said he's sorry he gotta discover this kind of thing in this type of way. And they had that little moment in the post-credit scene where he got tight at him for calling out the little tiny imperfection in his repair. That was some real death to kiss, man. You love to see it. The symmetry was not symmetry though. Mr. Terrific's personality traits is not that's conventionally likable, right? But like, he's so interesting, he still ends up being likable. Like, he's not particularly nice in the movie. He's not a nice guy. He's a logic and numbers and like he's very stern, he's very cold, but like, he's just so cool in this movie. Also, we don't really know what kind of person Maxwell Lord is gonna be in the DCU, but we do know that he's sponsoring the Justice Gang, and he has a little mini cameo toward the end too. I feel like if he was a straight up evil ass dude, Mr. Terrific wouldn't be a part of the Justice Gang, but really, who knows? But I am assuming that Maxwell Lord is gonna show up in Peacemaker season 2, because at the very least, Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl are gonna show up in Peacemaker season 2, so like, I'm assuming Maxwell Lord gotta show up too, right? You remember the James Gunn brother?
Hello?
Hey, look, it's me, James Gunn. The gun don't jam. Look. We need you for Peacemaker season 2. I think the Maxwell Lord uniform looks best on him too, because he gets to keep his iconic tough ass jacket. Fair play, you feel me? This motherfucker was fresh to death in this movie. When Mr. Terrific showed up in Arrow, the T-Mask low-key looked like some butt, but it's genuinely so beautiful in this movie, dog. They truly made it work. And they gave him the whited out eyes when he was in detective mode 2, which was fire. This gotta be like top 20 super suits of all time, dog. Look, it's magnificent. It's fantastic. It's terrific, nigga. The T-spheres look fire in this movie too. It kind of looks like balls wearing little diapers, but like cooler. I like that there's a bunch of holes and dots all over them for scanning and lasers and a whole bunch of other shit. I'm so glad he's not a nanotech warrior either, dog. The nanites are so played out now. He did put nanites in all of his homies for tracking purposes, but all of his actual gear are actual physical things. Like his little floaty chair jetpack thingy is a physical thing that he has to fold up into his bag. And his T-spheres don't just form out of thin air, at least I think. I low-key don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, I low-key don't remember. But I think. Also, even the little things like the nanites for tracking purposes show how calculated of a person this man is. This is an overly logic brain nigga. If we want to talk about this man's greatest scene though, come on dog, you already know what it is. This man is also a master in the art of hands. Oh my goodness. He was literally shadowboxing with the T-spheres on some 1v50 shit. We watched this man squad wipe this whole Planet Watch crew to some chill ass beautiful music. I know James Gunn was waiting to have a moment with some music and some boxing. James Gunn love his music and James Gunn love his boxing, bro. It's beautiful. This scene was straight sauce from everybody involved. Writers was writing, cinematographers was cinematographering, James Gunn was gunning, Eddie Gattegi was on timing. It was perfect. I think it's really cool that we got this fight from Lois's POV too. The people of this universe are used to metahumans and shit, but she's still a regular reporter with no powers, ground zero, watching the art of hands, right in the heart of this shit. Also, the way his combat and really every tech-based thing he does is so fingers and palm-based, makes everything he does look so surgical. It's so beautiful to bear witness to. His big fight literally felt like he was dancing though. Like this shit was so fluid. It was literally like tech-based water. It felt like this man was technology bending. There was a moment where this literally took a few seconds to stare Lois dead in her face and just aura farm while the T-spheres sweep him off his feet to continue putting belt to ass. Is this nigga goated? I believe so. I think personality wise, he's kind of super different from Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Terrific is very stern in how he talks, but ultimately he does always want to do the right thing in the classic heroism whereas at least in First Steps, Reed is less stern and more generally afraid, I guess. Like he's in a situation now that he can't just easily solve with the power of science, without sacrifice at least. Shout out baby Franklin. He's under a lot of stress and pressure from feeling like the only one who can fix everything. But these characters also play very different roles in these movies too. One is a side character who steals the show, and the other is like one of the main people who are meant to carry the movie. Also, Mr. Terrific not f***ing with Crypto for the majority of the movie was funny too. Who else used to be scared of dogs when they were younger? It ain't just me, right? The way he be overreacting to every little thing when it comes to his inventions is funny as hell too. Like when Lois was talking about his T-spheres, he was genuinely appalled at the fact that she called them circles instead of spheres. This scoffed at her like she was stupid. Mr. Terrific spending such a large portion of this movie with Lois is such an interesting like pairing too, because it's like they're both so intelligent in such different ways, right? Lois is a reporter. She can get answers out of anybody by any means possible. But Mr. Terrific is like the logic dude, right? He's gonna tell you how to solve this problem by this way with this means. But Lois is gonna tell you how to get like on some interrogation, on some like reporter shit. Lois is gonna gather evidence, gonna figure out who did what. It's just such an excellent way to like pair two intelligent characters who are so very intelligent in such very different ways. That's fire to me. They are so good at doing such different things with their brain. Lois ended up helping save the day by working with Jimmy to like dethrone Lex Luthor, while Mr. Terrific helped save the day by literally hacking into the mainframe and closing the little rift in the universe with Lex's pocket dimension going out of control. This movie's fire. I ain't gonna lie, this movie is just phenomenal. Marvel and DC tend to borrow from each other quite often. Deadpool and Deathstroke, Aquaman, Namor. I literally can't tell you who came first between Aquaman and Namor. One of them came first, probably Aquaman. I don't even know for real though. Marvel and DC just borrow from each other all the time, but Mr. Mr. Fantastic and Mr. Terrific is just such an interesting case study because it's like these two characters are so vastly different from each other. I feel like if Hawk Girl and Green Lantern Guy Gardner are gonna show up in Peacemaker season 2, throw Mr. Terrific in there too. I ain't gonna lie, you throw Mr. Terrific in there. You feel me? Hey, throw Metamorpho in there too, bro. Throw the Element Man in there too. You feel me? Throw the whole Justice Gang in there. But yeah, shout out Mr. Terrific and shout out you.
I can't feel my face right now, I'm burning up. I got this feeling that I won't come down like, got this feeling that I won't come down like, got this feeling that I won't